Hello guys, we are back for Premier League predictions for this weekend's games. I'm joined as always by Sophie. Set us a like target.
3,300 likes.
It's getting lower.
Is it?
What's going on?
I don't know. Well, we might hit it though.
Are we that bad?
Yeah, we get worse each week. Our predictions were that bad.
Well, they were, to be fair. We'll come on to those in a second. Guys, be sure to hit the like button. Your support is usually amazing, so do help us hit the like target. And now we are touching distance away from 90,000 subscribers, so do get involved if you haven't already subscribed. Thank you if you have. Speaking of those Premier League predictions from last week, Sophie, it was a 6-6 draw. I managed to get Liverpool 4, Ipswich 1 as a bonus point. And
Great
to be
shout.
fair to you, you did get Manchester City 3, Chelsea 1. That was a good prediction as well. But other than that, we're pretty rubbish.
4, yeah.
Some things just never change. On to the predictions, Sophie. Let's go to the City Ground, where we are actually going to the City Ground. We can tell them, if you're a Forest fan or a Brighton fan, do look out for us because we will be there. I'm looking forward to this, Sophie.
Yep.
Forest and Brighton, two good Premier League teams, but they both lost last week.
did, yeah.
Let's talk about it. First of all, Forest. I've really enjoyed them this season, but that performance at Bournemouth was like...
It was shocking though.
It was like League 2 standard. What happened there?
I don't know. And the thing is, we've banged on about their defence, their keeper and everything. And I know that they've not got the best record against Bournemouth, but 5-0.
Honestly,
crazy.
it was so poor. Matt Sells didn't have a good game. Murillo, despite signing a new contract, he was rubbish. I don't know what to say. Do you know what? If you
They were bad, but then let's just say Bournemouth were that good as well.
Very good point.
Yeah.
Bournemouth were good, but here's another way of looking at it. If you can get all of your mistakes in a season out
one game.
in one game,
That's great.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Let's go back to winning ways, eh? It's not going to be easy because despite losing to Everton last week, Brighton tend to be better away than at home. We've said this, that, you know, Brighton drop silly points at home, but I actually quite rate them away. Look, I think it'll be an interesting game, Sophie. Let's back the Forest boys.
Yeah.
Forest 2, Brighton 1. And if you're a Forest fan, any recommendations for where to go for a pre-match pint? Let us know.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we might be able to bring you guys some good luck and you'll get back to winning ways in this one. I think maybe a clean sheet as well, because I think Nuno will just be absolutely on them, saying, you've just conceded 5. I don't want to concede a single goal in this one.
Sophie, it was his birthday, by the way,
What, Nuno's birthday?
and they lost 5-0.
Nice one, lads. I think that they will get back to winning ways. I'm going to say 2-0. I think they'll keep a clean sheet now.
Interesting. I think you should never underestimate Brighton, but at the same time, Forest have been the better team this season.
Yeah.
And like I say, if they can go back to winning ways, you can forget about last week. Speaking of last week, it was Bournemouth that beat them, and Bournemouth are now taking on Liverpool. This is a great game because Liverpool are the best team in the league. They are top of the league for a reason, but Bournemouth are probably the best form team at the moment. They've scored 9 goals across 2 games against Newcastle and Forest, who were pretty much the 2 form teams before those games. Bournemouth are incredible, and you know, we've mentioned that they've got players missing. Who cares? They're still so good. The manager's fantastic. Like we said, so dangerous going forwards. Seem to be pretty solid at the back. I think Kepa's having a pretty decent season.
To be fair, he likes his pizzas, I think.
But can we back Liverpool to lose? Oh, I don't know. Liverpool with a good win against Ipswich, 4-1, as I predicted, and they just keep grinding the results out. I think, given that Liverpool have a pretty comfortable gap, a draw for Liverpool would not be the end of the world.
True.
And I'm going to go for a cheeky Desmond.
Do you know, I was really tempted to say a Desmond as well. I don't want to go against... Do you know what? I'm going to stick with it because I was going to say 3-2 Liverpool, but do you know what? I want to give Bournemouth their dues. I don't want to back either of them to lose. No, I know, that's the challenge here because both teams are playing very, very well, and Bournemouth have just been unreal, to be honest. I genuinely did think that they'd struggle with some of the injuries they've sustained in the past few weeks, month, but no, doesn't seem to have affected them whatsoever. And Liverpool are a very, very solid team, so I think a draw is almost a fair result right now, and I think there could be goals, so 2-2.
Honestly, for either of them to beat the other is a very big achievement right now.
Yes.
And, you know, that's no discredit to Liverpool, me saying that if they beat Bournemouth, that's a massive achievement. Because Bournemouth are great as well.
Yeah, look at what they're doing right now.
Incredible game. On to the next one, Sophie. We've got the first of 2 relegation 6-pointers. We go to Goodison as Everton take on Leicester City. Both with good wins last week. Everton have now won back-to-back games. They won at home to Spurs 3-2, and they've won 1-0 away at Brighton through Ndai's goal. Ndai is such a good player, by the way.
Yeah.
As for Leicester, we were really concerned about their form, but we did say, even though we didn't back them to win at Tottenham, it was a good opportunity for them to win.
Yeah, true.
Because Tottenham are absolutely terrible. And maybe Leicester can try and bring Tottenham into the relegation battle. As for this one, do you know what? It'd be... If Everton win, that's a massive statement. Like, we're not going down.
Yeah.
So Leicester have got to try and pull them in. It feels like the pressure's on Leicester, but I don't know. I still have reservations about how open Leicester are, even though it was a great win last week.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for David Moyes to make it 3 from 3.
Yeah.
2-1 Everton.
Yeah, we see this sometimes from Everton when they're getting quite close to the relegation zone. They'll put a few results together, and I think they're hitting that patch at the moment. Do want to give Leicester their credit because that was a good result against Spurs, but I'm leaning more towards the home side right now, so 2-0.
I'm going 2-0.
2-0 Everton, yeah.
Yeah, I fancy Everton. Like I say though, if Leicester win, maybe it makes things interesting. The next game, Sophie, is certainly massive as we go to Portman Road. Ipswich Town versus Southampton. It's the bottom 2 facing off. Ipswich won't get many opportunities to play a team below them because there's only one team below them. It's a big game. It tends to be quite a good game when Ipswich play Southampton. I remember last season, Sophie, Ipswich beat Southampton 3-2 at home in the Championship at Portman Road. It was a last-minute goal, and that was a massive game in the promotion race. Earlier this season, they drew 1-1 at St Mary's, and Ipswich scored a 95th minute equaliser. So, will Ipswich get some late drama? Possibly. It just feels like Southampton are not having any luck go their way.
No.
As I've said before, they play well in spells. I think they'll score, but I generally just think Ipswich will find a way to win, and they have to. I don't want to be too dramatic, but if you're an Ipswich fan, you have to win this. You have to win this game.
I think they will.
As for Southampton, look, we both think they're gone. If they win this, maybe they can try and pull themselves back into it, but there's a long way to go for that to happen. Let's go Ipswich 3-1.
Oh, 3-1. I'm saying 2-1. I think could be late drama again in this one, but I do fancy Ipswich to get it over the line, to be honest, and I think that'd be a big 3 points on the board. Yeah,
exactly. Just get the win.
Exactly. Any means necessary.
That's the most important thing. The next one, Sophie, is at St James's Park. Newcastle United take on Fulham. Newcastle United back to winning ways last week. 3-1 win at Southampton. Fulham, they lost to Man United. What's that about?
Yeah, I mean, I turned it off after 70 minutes, and then obviously Man United scored, but it was one of the dullest games I've watched for a while.
Look, we'll come on to Man United later, because whenever we don't think they're going to win, they do, and vice versa. As for Fulham, see, I think Fulham are capable of turning up here and getting something, but I've got to go for Newcastle, I think.
Yeah.
I get told off for going for too many 2-1s, but I think this one for me is 2-1 Newcastle.
Okay, I think they might actually keep a clean sheet. I wasn't impressed at all, really, with Fulham against Man United. So if they turn up like that against Newcastle, and then if Newcastle play really well, I think it could be a fairly convincing one. So 3-0 Newcastle.
Wow, where's that come from?
Well, I just feel like Newcastle, sometimes they'll turn up and score a few past a decent team. So
yeah,
3-0.
Okay, well, there you go. It's a bold shout. Do share your thoughts. Next up, Sophie, let's go to a West Midlands derby as Wolves take on Aston Villa. Wolves are just not getting any results. To be fair to them, they've got a really difficult run of fixtures here, but you'd have thought against Arsenal at home with the man advantage you'd get something over the line, but
not then get your own man sent off.
For me, that's one of the most frustrating things. If you've got a man advantage, don't let them back into the game by getting one of your players sent off.
Yeah, exactly.
Aston Villa are playing in the Champions League in midweek. They're at home to Celtic. Their form's a bit spotty. You know, only drew 1-1 against West Ham last week. I think Wolves are desperate for results, and I think they might get something. I'm going to go for a draw. Wolves 1, Villa 1.
I might back the 2-1 here, Villa. I know that they're playing Champions League, so will they be a little bit tired? Possibly, but I don't know, sometimes Wolves almost play like they're tired throughout this season. And you're like, what is going on? Because again, they have got some really good players. I know they're sometimes a bit unlucky, but overall, I just don't think their performances are good enough. So yeah, that's why I'm going to back Villa to get a big away win, 2-1.
2-1 Villa. Okay, we'll see. It's a big game for sure.
Yeah.
If you're a Villa fan, are you more focused on the Premier League or Champions League?
Both, if you can. If you've got the squad depth, yeah, both.
If you can. Do share your thoughts if you're a Villa fan. The next game, Sophie, is at Brentford. They take on Tottenham Hotspur, and I am worried for Ange Postecoglou now.
Yeah.
I am very worried. We said that the whole of Tottenham's season could hinge on that second leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final, but will he even make it to that game? Because the Premier League form is absolutely spiralling out of control, and I don't fancy them here, Sophie. I really don't. I mean, I don't know with Tottenham. Like, they're weird, aren't they? They might, as soon as you think, they're not going to win, they might. But they lost again at home last week, Sophie, to a team in the bottom three. Brentford, good away win.
That was, yeah.
Good away win at Palace. I liked seeing Visa celebrating before the penalty was scored by Mbuemo.
Yeah, the second one, yeah.
For the retaken one. Let's go for another bonus point. Brentford 3, Tottenham 2.
Oh, okay. We're not too dissimilar. I'm saying 3-1. I think both teams will get on the score sheet, but right now, I don't think it's going to be the final nail in the coffin for Ange, but I think they're acquiring more and more nails, to be honest. And yeah, I think Brentford could inflict some damage on them. 3-1 Brentford.
3-1 Brentford, yeah. I just think I can't back Tottenham.
Right now, no.
I'm not sure what's going on.
No, I know they'll say injuries and illness and things like that, but I don't know, that can only take you so far, can't it? And then you start looking at the manager and thinking, you've got to take some of this blame here.
I just think it's a bit toxic. I know there's also Tottenham fans that are frustrated at things behind the scenes as well, but ultimately results are really important and they're not getting them at the minute. The next game, Sophie, is at Old Trafford. Manchester United take on Crystal Palace. Credit to Man United. It was a good win away at Fulham last week. It's about, can you follow it up? Because that's the problem, isn't it? Consistency. Yes. Man United are not consistent. Palace, look, they've been on a decent run, but then they just lost to Brentford 2-1. See, I think this could be like 2-0 Man United or 3-0 Palace or something. Do you know what I mean?
It is hard to predict.
Let's sit on the fence. Fair play to Man United. It was a good win last week, but I just don't think there's consistency through the team.
True.
1-1.
Yeah, because of their lacking of consistency, I wouldn't be surprised if Palace were to win this one. 2-1 Palace.
Oh, you're going 2-1 Palace?
Yeah, I'm actually going to back them to win, just because I didn't expect Man United to win last week. They got the win. Sometimes that leads to a bit of complacency and they might follow it up with a poor result. So 2-1 Palace.
Do you know what? That's a very good point. It's almost like the players and some of the fans now think, there we go.
We won last week. We got 3 points on the board.
We're turning it around.
Yeah.
Mate, there's a long way for that ship to turn around to start going in the right direction.
Exactly.
Right, Sophie, let's go to a really tasty one as Arsenal host Manchester City. It's Arteta versus Guardiola, the master versus the apprentice, and it's a big game. This game, over the last couple of years, has basically decided the title, or it's been a title race game, if that makes sense. Whereas this time round, Sophie, it's not going to decide the title, surely. I mean, Man City, to be fair to them, they've improved, but they're not going to win the league. They might finish second or third, but I don't think they're going to win the league. As for Arsenal, they could still win the league, but I don't know. They need Liverpool to slip up against Bournemouth first. They'll obviously be frustrated with the red card they did get at Wolves.
Yes, they will.
Do you think it was a red?
I don't know. I've seen different angles. I'm like, okay, studs have caught him. I think it is a bit of a harsh red, but also depends on the angle. VAR watch it, you can see why it's given as well. That's a little bit controversial because obviously all the Arsenal fans are like, it's never a red, but also they never think it's a handball when it's hit their player's hand. So. Fair
play to Arsenal though, because they stuck in it. They stuck in it, and that's a good win. 1-0 to the Arsenal. It was a great win. And as for Man City, they got a great win. They won 3-1 at home to Chelsea. And like I say, it just feels like Man City are starting to put things back together. As for a prediction, I think Arteta tends to do quite well against Guardiola. He did last season. I think they got 4 points off them, and they didn't concede. I think earlier this season it was a 2-2 at the Etihad. This is a bold one, Sophie. Arsenal 2-0.
Oh, okay. We're a little bit split on this one. I'm actually thinking Man City might do it. I'm going to say 2-1. I think they might just snatch it. I was half tempted to say a 1-1 and think, maybe a draw would kind of suit both teams. Would they play it a little bit safe? But I don't know. I'm backing the away side here. 2-1.
2-1. Yeah, interesting. Can you see Arsenal still doing it, winning the title?
I don't know.
They have to win this game, and you've not gone for it. So
no, I'm not feeling confident. Let's just say that. I'm not going to say yes. I'm not going to say no, but I'm leaning more towards no.
And Man City, where are they finishing?
Probably second.
You still think they finish second?
Yeah, second or third.
Yeah, okay. The final game, Sophie, is at Stamford Bridge on Monday night. It's a Frank Lampard derby, and it's now also a Graham Potter derby as Chelsea host West Ham. Chelsea, we mentioned, they lost 3-1 to Man City last week. They took the lead as well.
They did, yeah.
As for West Ham, though, credit to them, that was a decent draw at Villa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was.
So, can West Ham build on it? Maybe. I think West Ham are going to be a bit spotty this season. I think it's going to be like win, loss, draw, loss, win. It's just going to be a bit like mid-table form, which is okay. Maybe West Ham can look at this as a transitional season.
Exactly.
And if they can get things right in the summer, they could start quite strong next year and maybe push towards European places again. But as for Chelsea, look, they need to go back to winning ways in this race for European places. I'm going to back Chelsea to just edge this. Chelsea 2, West Ham 1.
See, I'm going to chuck in another goal for West Ham. I'm going to say 2-2.
Wow.
I think West Ham are capable of getting a draw here. I think what to expect from Chelsea is probably a pretty solid first half. Fall apart second half. I'm not too sure why Sanchez is still starting in goal, to be honest, because he's making mistake after mistake after mistake, and after a while, that's on you as a manager. You need to take him out of the team, to be honest. So yeah, West Ham 2-2. I think they're capable of getting a draw.
You think they get a draw out of this?
Yeah.
That'd be 2 good draws, wouldn't it? Away at Villa and away at Chelsea. And if you're a Chelsea fan, do share your thoughts, because I think over the last 6 or 7 games, their form's not actually been very good, has it?
No, I think they're looking for a more like clinical striker, because they are getting some chances. They just don't have a man at the top to put them away, to be honest.
And that's another interesting thing. There's only a few days left of the transfer window, so do share your thoughts on all of the predictions and any transfer activity that might go through over the next couple of days. Otherwise, that is it from us, guys. A massive thank you for your support on the Premier League predictions again. Look out for more predictions coming tomorrow. I've got League One predictions with Benjamin Bloom, and we will be up in Nottingham this weekend, where we are going to be at the City Ground. So look out for our Nottingham Forest versus Brighton vlog then. Be sure to drop a like and make sure you have hit the subscribe button. Your support has been absolutely fantastic this season, and we're so close to 90k now, which is unbelievable. Thank you for joining me, Sophie.
Thank you.
We will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Peace out.